Hello, Jess and John pod listeners. I'm Jess.
I'm John. How you doing?
This is a teaser episode for the full episode that's going to be out on Friday after Thanksgiving. Enjoy this teaser and have a good Thanksgiving. John has a safety announcement.
Do not put a frozen turkey into a deep fryer. It will catch your house on fire, okay, everybody? Also, use a dry brine. It's just rubbing salt on the turkey, and there's nothing better. Happy Thanksgiving.
We love you. Be safe. Happy Thanksgiving. See you Friday. Kamala Harris resurfaced for the first time since the election. And John has not seen this video yet, so we're going to get John's live reaction.
Yeah, this is actually news to me, so I'm excited. I'm excited for how this goes.
I just have to remind you, don't you ever let anybody take the power from you. You have the same power that you did before November 5th. And you have the same purpose that you did. And you have the same ability to engage and inspire. So don't ever let anybody or any circumstance take your power from you. I just have to remind you.
Okay. All right, so this is my reaction. Was that a clip? That was a clip?
That is a clip that was put out by the DNC. Why they chose it, we don't know.
Oh man, yeah. What's my reaction to this? Well, I think unfortunately, that clip was really like on message for the Kamala campaign. But the unfortunate part to me about it is that it just really feels hollow. I mean, like, what power are we really talking about here? What power was this campaign really built upon? What foundation was it built upon? In our first pod reaction, we were talking about the absence of, villains and heroes or clearly defined stakes of this election. It just kind of felt like, hey, Donald Trump obviously is the worst person ever, and we are filled with joy and happiness and celebrities. And that wasn't really connected to, I think anything that a person who's just out there watching these two people who want to, represent our country, it's not connected to anything that I think would, bring somebody who's skeptical about this in, where they can see yes, the people causing our problems are here. The reason why I feel something in the economy is because of these larger structural things. And this candidate has a track record of, fighting against these things, and I can invest my trust in them. And there's a clear contrast between Donald Trump. To me, that clip just sounds like more of what the campaign was, with these really vague notions of you have power, exercise your vote, it's your civic duty, but why? What are we trying to do here? Why is it important to do this? You can obviously say it's important to keep Donald Trump out of office, but what is the big moral vision that I am driving towards that's not related to Donald Trump at all? And I, if that's the clip that the DNC is pointing out, I think it's kind of an indicator of the problem, is that we never really heard that argument advanced. And I think back to other times when we really did, like Barack Obama, that was a radically different candidate who was inheriting a bad economy, who had a critique about who messed up the economy, who had a vision for where to go. And I think those that I'm missing from a clip like that. I don't know, Jess, what do you think about it?
I actually would have loved to have a Chardonnay drunk stepmom in the White House from California. I think that's beautiful. And I'm sad we're not getting that. And this clip just reminded me of that tragic loss that our country just suffered.
We really do deserve a Chardonnay drunk in the White House,
Yeah. Yeah, she seems
Instead,
a
we're gonna
little
get like,
schwasty.
yeah, we might get like, I don't know, heartburn and Tums and like McDonald's regret in the White House. Maybe like a Shamrock Shake hangover. I don't know. That's kind of, we get the government we deserve, right?
Yeah, that is the government we deserve. But I think something that rocked the political world, the people who talk about politics and it's their job to know about politics, Pod Save America, they do good work. They had Kamala staffers on who were like running the campaign, and they have zero self-reflection as to what went wrong. Let's watch some of that.
It's always worth reminding people it's really hard for Democrats to win battleground states. Let's look at Pennsylvania. 25% of the electorate is liberal, roughly. 34% is conservative. By the way, in most battleground states, that conservative number is over 40. So in every battleground state, there's more conservative than liberals. So in Pennsylvania, if experts are to believe, Trump won conservatives 91.8, Harris won liberals 93.6. Moderates, Harris won 56.43, but you kind of got to win 60% of them, right? For Democrats to win battleground states, it is a false choice. You want to maximize your base, of course. And that was a place where we spent enormous time, a lot of resources. That's critical. And obviously, I think in Milwaukee, just to use that as an example, we hit our turnout targets, fell a little bit short in Philly and Detroit. So that's not good. That's part of the equation. You've got to couple that with dominating in the middle, not just winning it a little. We have to dominate the moderate vote. And I think as we look ahead to 26 and 28, particularly where you have seen drift amongst non-college voters generally, particularly those of color specifically, we obviously have to get some of that back. We can't afford any more erosion there. The math just doesn't fucking work.
John, do you think the problem with the Harris campaign is they didn't cater to moderates enough?
Oh man, I saw that coming from a mile out. I was like, here we are, radical leftists running around with Liz Cheney and, doing our best to participate in all the culture war division, just amplifying that. I saw that and I was like, here we are again. We're running too left, everybody. We're running too left. We're going to lose this thing. And who to thunk it, right? I don't know. What's your reaction to this clip, Jess?
I watched this clip and it reminds me of something that Chuck Schumer said some years ago. He said, I don't think it's relevant that it's not recent because it seems that they still have this approach, the Democrats. And for those who don't know, Chuck Schumer has been the majority leader for the Democrats in the Senate for quite some time. Of course, they haven't been in the majority, so whatever. He said, for every blue-collar Democrat we lose in Western Pennsylvania, we will pick up 2 moderate Republicans in the suburbs in Philadelphia. And you can repeat that in Ohio and Illinois and Wisconsin. My question is to Schumer, if he still believes this, and any Democrat who still believes this, where's the math? Show me the numbers. There is no proof behind this. They think they can just say things. And so I didn't listen to the pod save. John will be able to shed some more light on this. I did get a briefing on it from my boyfriend who listens to these podcasts for me to save me the suffering, which is very chivalrous. But Kamala's staff was apparently saying, we moved X points on immigration. She was 20 points behind on immigration. We moved up 7. Same thing for the economy. And it's because we ran these ads that were so smart and targeted. The thing is, why is immigration a top issue? Because people are afraid that they're not paying their bills, they don't have enough to survive, and they've been sold this narrative that that's brown people's crossing the southern borders problem. They've caused that for you. And because you're fearful for your survival, literally, you're like, okay, that's who I have to be mad at. You're mad about the economy because you're struggling, but you're working 40 plus hours a week, maybe 2 jobs, and still can't make rent. And so if you're not speaking to that reality, sure, you can run on, we're being strong on the southern border, but that's not the response to demagoguery that tells the American public that that's who you should be fearful of. So I think they say, we're so smart, we did everything we could. I'm not buying that. You have to address the root issues.
Yeah, and also, in that clip, he starts off saying, it's really hard for Democrats to win the swing states. But isn't that your job? Isn't it a politician's job who's running for president to win the swing states? If it's hard to begin with, what are the root causes of it being hard. Like we should be running, this gets back into the whole blaming third party voters thing. Like a lot of the analysis I've seen starts by blaming the voters, but it's really simple. A politician really has one job, and it's to win voters. And it's to lay out a big picture vision that people can judge if they want to vote to go that way. And then they can hire people who are experts who know what they're doing to kind of execute this vision. But the politician's job is to be good at winning voters in swing states. That's the first thing. So we kind of start there and I say it's really hard and so it's not our fault. Well, that's your whole job, actually. And the other thing is, what's so frustrating about politics is that we're governed all the time by this sense of like a moderate voter. Who is a moderate voter? Are they exactly in the center of every issue? Are they cutting the baby in half on every issue? And why don't Republicans seem to have the same problems with moderate voters, even though Republicans are anything but moderate? They're very radical. I think of the example of Ronald Reagan, right? Ronald Reagan is cited as a person, pulling off huge landslides, getting his agenda done. We're still living in Reagan's world. But did he always command votes like this? Was he always popular? Turns out no. Like forever, Ronald Reagan was a kook. He was on the edge of everything that was popular. He was closely associated with Barry Goldwater, one of the people who went down, I think, in the presidential election of 1964, maybe. Barry Goldwater, this guy who is, Ronald Reagan's mentor, basically, just got wiped out in a landslide. And you would think then that, if Ronald Reagan wanted to avoid that, maybe he'll moderate his positions, go for those voters in the center. Is that what he did? No, he didn't. Ronald Reagan changed the polls instead of changing himself. But yet somehow, and now we're living in his world, and Republicans all take that lead. They don't moderate. They change the polls. They, lead with their vision. They don't play on their opponent's turf. There was a lot of talk of that in the Pod Save episode. But the larger point is, Republicans are just putting the craziest thing out there, and they're bringing the rest of the country around to it. Because although many of the things that they're putting forward are based on lies or manipulation, making issues prominent that, aren't really a concern in the daily lives of people, that's how they're doing it. But we always look at these election losses as, there must be something wrong with us or something. I just think that a lot of this takes a predictable path. And here we are again, wondering what the center of the electorate is, instead of putting forward a story that's going to, bring a broad swath of voters behind the vision that we want to pursue.